Hello, good afternoon. This is David Soto talking to you, and today is my weekly trade predictions for the upcoming trading week of October 8th through October 12th, 2021. Okay, and what I'm going to do here is I will look at all the major forex currency pairs on a 30-minute time frame, and I do that just so we can see what happened this past week. All right, and then I will compare that to higher time frames such as the 4-hour, daily, and weekly charts. All right, and then I will try to give you my analysis of what I think is going to happen this coming week based on my experience, right? And using my Excalibur trend indicator right here. So this coming week is definitely non-farm payroll, okay? NFP is coming this week. This last Friday, there was no non-farm payroll simply because the first of the month fell on a Friday. If the first of the month falls on a Friday, there's never any NFP or non-farm payroll. Okay, they wait till the following Friday. So this coming Friday definitely will be the non-farm payroll, and it's going to be a busy week. Okay, there's not a lot of high impact news, but I'll show you here in a second. But we definitely see a lot of activity coming, especially towards the end of the week, right? So let me look here at the chart. Chart. Look here at Forex Factory on the high impact news calendar, right? So this coming week we have a few different events, but the big highlight right here is the non-farm payroll, which affects both the Canadian dollar and US dollar. So mainly we want to focus on the US dollar, and we see that last month had a 5.2% unemployment rate. It's expected to drop to 5.1%, and also the number of new jobs is expected to go from 235,000 to 490,000. So that's also good, right? So we're definitely seeing signs that the U.S. economy is starting to recover, all right, from the pandemic, but we're still a long ways away from where we were pre-pandemic, pre-COVID time, right? So before COVID, we were down to like 3%, less than 3% unemployment rate. So we still have a ways to go to get to where we want to be. And based on what's happening right now with the U.S. Congress, okay, the U.S. Congress is fighting a government shutdown and government default, which would be seriously catastrophic. And by the way, U.S. government has never ever defaulted, okay? So I know there's a lot of talk. You see it in the news. You see a lot on YouTube. But the U.S. government has never ever defaulted, okay, in history. So I think the U.S. senators and congressmen they're going to pull something off at the last minute, okay, to prevent a government shutdown and government default, right? So, but the problem is, all this fighting in Congress is really hurting the U.S. dollar, all right? So last week we saw the U.S. dollar gain slightly, and I'll show you that here in a minute. But what I think is going to happen this coming week, probably the next few weeks, we're going to be seeing that U.S. dollar drop. Okay. Now we do have some good news coming out with the non-farm payroll, as I showed you. So no, we will see what happens. It's going to be interesting. Okay. We do have some good news coming out, but U.S. dollar is definitely hurting. Okay. Now we look here on this chart I have pulled up. This is Euro USD. We clearly see that it dropped this past week. All right. Now at the end of the week, it was just formed a flat range of market, which marks a strong support area. All right. Now this is okay because in the long run we want the Euro USD to be dropping. Okay, so this is kind of in line with where the price is headed long term. Now if we look at the 4-hour chart, we see that we hit a strong support and the price is definitely dropping. I'm going to mark that so you can see it, but that is your support line right there. If we look at the daily chart, we still see that support, but we also see another support right here that was broken. And if I mark that, I'm going to mark it right here. Okay. Oops. I don't know what I hit. I'm going to mark it right about here. All right. Now, yes, it did break slightly here, but overall, it really broke here. And what that means is that this is going to be dropping more and more long term. Okay. If we look at the weekly chart, this falls in line with what we're seeing long term. Okay. The weekly chart is the biggest chart time frame of all, and this will show you where the price is really headed long term. With the weekly chart, we're only going to see the price. We only know that this is where the price is going to be headed over the next 6 months to a year. All right, so it's going to take a long time before we see another blue arrow form using my Excalibur trend indicator. But we do know that over the course of time, probably the next year, we're going to be seeing this price drop more and more. All right, until we get a new solid uptrend. Okay, we have, if I zoom out a little bit, we set a long downtrend that went from in the beginning of 2018 all the way through the beginning of 2020, so 2 years. This right here, from this blue arrow to this red arrow, was beginning of 2020 up until the beginning of 2021, so 1 year. So we'll probably see another year or more before we see another blue arrow form here. It's going to be a long, steady, slow process. Okay, so anyhow, hopping back here to the 4-hour chart. In the daily chart also, the 4-hour chart shows to go up, the daily chart shows to go up. So we're already at a very strong level of support. So like I said, I feel the US dollar is going to be dropping. So if it does, it's going to allow this right here to go up. Okay, it depends on the non-farm payroll this coming week, but that is where we're headed. Okay, this should be going up and the US dollar should be going down. All right, vice versa. If one goes up, the other one goes down. And so what's going to happen this coming week that we need to be trading? Okay, right now, if you look at the 30-minute time frame, it's already going up. What I feel is going to happen this week, we're not going to see any big uptrends. We're not going to see any big downtrends. Okay, we're going to see pretty much a flat range of market, and I already marked here in the green your range. Okay, boom, voila. So you're going to see the price go back up to here and then form another red arrow and go back down again. So you're going to see a lot of sideways movement this coming week, but I do feel that the price will definitely end higher than where it began. Okay, it's going to be going up here in the next few weeks. Okay, so long as the US dollar keeps dropping. And I'll show you that here in a second. This US dollar should be going down. If you look at the Great British Pound versus US dollar, again, we see that the price dropped and pretty much kind of formed a flat range of market here towards the end of the week. Now, you know, this is a little bit slightly different than the euro, but still kind of falls in line with what we just saw. Now we hit a solid resistance here. We had a solid support, solid resistance, and that's a very tight range between here and there. Okay, that's only maybe 500-600 points. Now we're expecting the price to drop even further. If we go to the 4-hour chart, we see the price going up. Okay, so if the 30-minute chart shows to go down, then the price is going to drop some in the beginning of the week and then shoot back up even more towards the middle of the week. If we see right here on the daily chart, it shows to go up. This indicator is not repainted and is already starting to form an uptrend. Okay, so that's a good sign that this will be going up. Also, notice that we have 2 blue arrows in a row, right? Interesting. So that means that the next arrow should be a red arrow. We here look in the past, just look in the past. We had 2 red arrows followed by a blue arrow. Now we got 2 blue arrows followed by a question mark. Red arrow should be, hopefully, right? So we see that these 2 red arrows are pretty much at the same spot. These 2 blue arrows were not. Okay, this one was lower. We have a blue arrow followed by a lower. What does that mean? Well, that means the next red arrow will definitely not be this high. Probably will be this high, I'm guessing. Okay, that would be the most likely. Somewhere in here is where we're going to see another red arrow form on the daily chart. Okay, now this is a daily chart, so that means it could probably take a few weeks before we see another red arrow form on the daily chart. So keep that in mind. So that falls in line with what I'm already saying, that the next few weeks, probably the month of October, we're going to see this U.S. Great British Pound, Euro, Australian dollar go up. Okay. Now let's move on. Oh, sorry. Before we move on, what's going to happen this week? Okay. So basically, the exact same thing as Euro USD. Keep your charts on a 30-minute time frame. Okay. and you should be able to both buy and sell this week, simply because we're going to see mostly range of markets. All right, you already showed you here that the price is getting ready to drop on the 30-minute time frame. You can sell, but again, like I always say, wait for at least the London session on Monday before placing any trades. All right, so just to see what the market is doing, because the market is always really sluggish and it's not fully awake when it comes, when the market is open on Monday. So anyhow, yes, you can place a sell trade and another buy trade. Do keep in mind that the price is going up. Okay, so if you want to play it safe, you could buy only. Okay, but yes, you should be able to buy and sell. Just do keep in mind that the price is going to be going up. Now, moving on to Australian dollar versus the US dollar, we're going to see kind of the same activity. Now here, this is the price ended pretty much where it began, but we did see the price drop and come back up again. So that indicates to me that we're going to see more of a range of market this coming week. If we look at the 4-hour chart, again, we see the price going up. Okay, so we're going to see a continuation of that. If you look at the daily chart, it shows to go up, and the weekly chart shows to go down. So pretty much all these pairs are following the same type of pattern. So we're going to see the price go up probably the next few weeks, and then going into the end of October, beginning of November, we'll start to see the price go back down long term. All right, so if you look here in the 4-hour chart, we had a big downtrend here. We're going to have a nice little uptrend again. Will it go all the way back up to this same level here? I don't know. I think it probably will, but I don't know. If I zoom out a little bit, we see that we had a red arrow followed by a higher red arrow. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to go up even higher. All right, because the long-term trend is bearish. It should be going down. So we're looking here. If you look here on the weekly chart, hopefully you can see this clearly, that this is your resistance here. So that's where we're looking for the price to head, and then back down again. All right, so for this week, this particular week, you can both buy and sell. Let me zoom out a little bit. There you go. The price should be going up. Okay, so basically, like I already said, if you keep your charts on a 30-minute time frame, you can both buy and sell. Just keep in mind that the price is going to be going up. So if you want to play it safe, you could buy only, follow the bigger trend. That's what I always try. That's what I always preach. I always teach in my private coaching. But anyhow, yes, the price should be going up this week. I feel very strongly that will happen. And right now is a good time. Looks like a good time to sell, but it's not going to have a big drop or nothing like that. So just be careful. Moving on to US dollar versus the Swiss franc. And like I said, we did see the price gain some this past week. It's not much of a gain, okay, ladies and gentlemen. But the price did escalate up to this point here. So you're looking at a nice gain this past week, but now the price is starting to come back down again. If you look at the 4-hour chart, we see that yes, we hit a pretty strong resistance, and now it's forming a downtrend. That's why I said I feel that the price will be dropping. All right. If we look at the daily chart, again, we have 2 red arrows in a row. Red arrow followed by a higher red arrow. Okay. Now the next one should be a blue arrow. So yes, this is going to be dropping. All right. If you look at the weekly chart, however, it shows to go up long term. And we could always draw a trend line like this going up to mark your support. All right. Now, if the price is going to be dropping, it's going to drop down to the support. If I go back to the 4-hour chart, you can see where that support line is. So we have quite a ways to go to get to that point. If I get the crosshairs, we're looking at about 2,600 point drop. Okay, that's huge. That's going to take several weeks, by the way. So that falls in line with what I've been saying, that this price should be headed down in the next few weeks. Only thing is, this Friday is non-farm payroll, and anything can happen. All right. I have a funny feeling that non-farm payroll is not going to be as good as they claim or they predict. So we'll probably see a drop in the US dollar. Okay, but they have some good news expected to come out. Let's just see what happens. All right. And moving on to US dollar. Well, First of all, what do we do here on this particular pair? So yes, just as I've always said, not always, but this week you can both buy and sell. Just know that the price is going to be dropping. Okay, we know the price is going to be dropping. So if you want to play it safe, I would sell only. Keep your charts on a 30-minute time frame and sell only, just to play it safe. But yeah, you could buy. You see right here, the 30-minute time frame is already going up. It's not going to go up big. Okay, we have a resistance right here, so it probably would go up and hit that resistance and form another red arrow and then drop again. So yeah, you could buy right now. On Monday, I would definitely wait until about the New York session before placing any trades, just to see what this US dollar does. Okay, but you know, like I said, if you want to play it safe, sell only, because it's going to be dropping. But I don't think we're going to see a huge drop. Probably overall, we're going to see the price slowly trickle down over the course of the next few weeks. If you look here on US dollar versus Japanese yen, sorry, we see that price ended almost exactly where it began, slightly higher. It did gain some this past week, but it's starting to come back down again, which is pretty much in line with what we just saw US dollar Swiss franc. If you look at the 4-hour chart, it is already beginning to drop. Okay, so I know a lot of people keep asking me, where's that US dollar Japanese yen going down? Because in my trade copy server, I placed a sell trade right here at this point. Okay, when the price had gone up, and then I placed a sell trade, and I thought this was like the final resistance, and then it just shot up even more, and I was totally jaw dropped. I could not believe that this US dollar Japanese yen kept going up. Okay, I was really frustrated, but we do see now that it's definitely dropping, and it's going to be dropping. Okay, so to answer people's questions about is the USD JPY going to be dropping, yes. If you look here on the daily chart, it's showing to go down. If you look at the weekly chart, it shows to go up, but okay, it's been showing that for a long time. So we had a high point here, it came down and went up to another higher high here and came down and went back up to another higher high again. So we're going to see the price come back down. I don't know how far it's going to drop. I just hope it's going to be dropping. I feel very strongly this is going to be dropping more in the next coming weeks. Okay, like I said, the 4-hour chart and the daily chart both showed to sell. Look at this daily chart. This also I wanted to point this out. We have 3 red arrows in a row. Each one is slightly higher than the previous, and that's kind of uncommon. I've never seen 4. I've never seen 4 red arrows in a row ever. So this definitely does happen. So the next arrow should be a blue arrow. Okay, I feel about 99% sure that it's going to be a blue arrow. Okay, like I said, I've never seen 4 arrows in a row of the same color. So buckle up, because I think we're going to be seeing a nice downtrend forming. Okay, the US dollar is going to be headed down, especially with a looming government default. Wow, default. I don't think that's going to happen, but there's a lot of turmoil right now in the U.S. government. So again, what do we do for this week? Well, yeah, you keep your charts on a 30-minute time frame. We see that we had a big drop. We have a buy arrow here, and it's not really going up. So to play it safe, I would sell only. Okay, just to play it safe. Now look here at U.S. dollar versus Canadian dollar. Again, price ended almost exactly where it began. So we have a nice range of market, good buy and sell opportunities. Interesting though, right here we have 2 blue arrows in a row, no red arrow in the middle. It's kind of strange. So I guess they need to go slightly higher to form a red arrow, but we still had some good up and down movement. One thing I could, small tip, okay, and I've said this many times in the past, if you place a trade using a 30-minute time frame, you could always drop down to a 15-minute time frame to find the next opposite arrow and close the trade. All right, that is a very good strategy as well, because if you mark, look at this, if I mark this point right here and you look at the 15-minute chart, okay, we see that red arrow right there. Okay, You don't see it. You do not see it on the 30-minute time frame. Is a problem. So it's not always going to show. Anyhow, moving on. What's going to happen this week? Well, I definitely feel that we're going to see more of a range of market. Like I said, the U.S. dollar should be dropping. I don't know. If we look here on the 4-hour chart, we have a red arrow, and it's been kind of slowly dropping over time anyhow. But yes, we're going to see this price drop more. If you look at the weekly, daily chart rather, it shows a red arrow, and hasn't dropped significantly. Really hasn't really dropped that much at all. More or less just going sideways and still gaining strong. But we should see the next arrow should be a blue arrow. Okay, following the pattern here. So I do feel that we will be seeing the US dollar drop probably somewhere in this range here before we see another blue arrow. Okay, because if we look at the weekly chart, we see that the price long term is to go up. Okay, and that's over the course of the next year. We're going to see the US dollar gain. It's going to take a long time. So in the short term, probably the next few weeks, we're going to see the price drop. Okay, so that's goes in line with all the other USD pairs falling in line, right? So what do you do this week? Keep your charts on a 30-minute time frame. Okay, and you can both buy and sell. Although, if you want to play it safe, I would sell only. Okay, I will put that in the description. I would recommend that you sell only. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. If you have any questions at all about these predictions, or if you have another currency pair that I did not go over here, please feel free to hit me up on Facebook. You can contact me there. I'll put a link in the description for my personal Facebook, but please contact me there first so that I can help you faster. Okay, better assist you. If you have any questions, you can post them in my Facebook group, and I'll put a link below in the description of that also as well for my private Facebook group, and you can request to join that if you have not already. So with that said, I hope you have a wonderful week ahead. Please let me know if I can help you in any way at all, okay, related to Forex. If you need to borrow $1 million, sorry, I can't really help you there, and go back to the country you come from. But other than that, peace out. Have a wonderful day.